Are you who you say you want to be by the end of 2023 or going into 2024? If you're like most people at this time of year, you are looking either at the proverbial finish line of the year or excited for the starting line of the next year. Well, I was reviewing my own goals for next year and checking off some of the ones I've accomplished in this last quarter. And it made me think about a webinar that I did a couple of years ago called God, Goals, and Grit. And if you know anybody who loves to give advice, like me, you've probably heard or said, I wonder, do they take their own advice? Or you should take your own advice. Well, that's what I did. I went and reviewed my own webinar. And I did it years ago. I remember the notes and what I said and the crux of what was entailed in the entire about 50 minutes of the webinar. But some of it jarred me. Some of it was really, I guess, refreshing to hear myself say. And it just reminded me, one, of what I'm capable of. Two, we do need to take our own advice. And three, that your legacy and impact will be felt and spread far beyond what you initially initiated. Getting some feedback on and offline when the webinar was over, hearing myself say certain things that jogged my memory of things that I cared about or want to accomplish or how I want to go about it, really made me excited about refreshing this content. So I'm excited to put a little twist on it for the upcoming year or 2025. I'm hoping to do it in 2024. But even now, God, Goals, and Grit really gave me a push for myself. And it's my own teaching. So I wonder, what are some of your goals that you're leaning into? I know one of mine, obviously, is to do more consistent, value-packed content on my YouTube channel and in my email newsletter. But then it got me thinking about some of the slides that I saw while reviewing it, like goals versus plans. Yes, that's one of the slides. Goals are the destination, the end result of all the tasks you've completed. Plans are the steps you take to get to the goal, the process you're perfecting to accomplish your dreams. We can forget that sometimes. We can set these lofty goals. We can set these small goals. But we don't really count up the cost of what it'll take to accomplish that. How much we need to invest, both financially, fiscally, and physically, and mentally and emotionally. Sometimes you have to count up the cost of all the things that is required. What does your calendar look like? What does your health look like? What does your pocketbook look like? All those things. And my types of goals, I know you've heard short term and long term, but in God, Goals, and Grits, I share what I've coined as legacy goals. And legacy goals, unlike short term and long term, legacy goals are the goals when you complete them, they have a lasting impact beyond your lifespan and your family. So that's the things that I was thinking about. Like, I put a book out into the world. Bear, yes. And that'll last, it's out now. It'll last beyond the scope of me, my life, my children's life. It's in the earth. It can be reprinted over and over and over again now. And it can be shared to the masses. Another legacy goal is I want to start my own foundation. I want to help, foster kids that age out. I want to help women overcome trauma. That legacy is not just in my life. That woman or those women that I help overcome trauma will then have a legacy of their own. But that catalyst will spark the change that continues to ripple throughout the earth. I'll never know the extent of my impact. That's what I like to quote Maya Angelou when she was talking to Oprah Winfrey, and she said, you have no idea what your legacy will be, because you don't. I don't know when I go live on Instagram, or when I share these YouTube videos, or when I have a conversation with a friend, family member, or a total stranger, what my words will have done for them, because everybody doesn't get to come back and report back to you or share their testimony with you of how their life changed after encountering you. So you really will never know what your legacy will be, but you really won't know if you don't take the steps to accomplish it. In God, Goals, and Grit, it says the point of goals isn't to achieve them. The point is who you become on the way to them. And that's me quoting a red tablet read. And it just reminds you that as you're sharing, you're growing. That was another thing about reviewing this content. I got reminded of some things that I forgot even about myself, and how God has equipped me with everything I need to be who He's called me to be, and who I'm becoming. It's not just for the me that I am today, the things that I'm doing, the way that I'm becoming consistent, the way that I'm feeding myself by reading, taking care of my health, studying under people who have gone further than me. All the things, getting mentored, is making me become a better version of me for those I'll impact, and the life that I'll build based on those encounters. There are some important statistics around achieving goals that's also shared in the webinar. And it's what quitting can cost, or not quitting, counting up the cost, like I said, and having skin in the game. Do you have skin in the game? Are you somebody who is working towards what you say you really want? And are you investing in you as much as you want others to invest in you? Less than 25% of people stay committed to their resolutions after 30 days. We're not even in January yet. So that ought to be something you could take into your mindset. If you start God, Goals, and Grit today, you'll already be equipping yourself to be stronger, to go beyond 30 days. 80% of the wealthy are obsessed with pursuing goals. They review long-term and daily goals often. If they review daily goals, daily is daily, every day. 365 days a week, they review their goals. So that's 80% of wealthy people. That's a high percentage. Only 8% accomplish their goals. Only 8. So you got 80% of the wealthy, but only 8% of people accomplish their goals. Are you going to be in the 80%, or are you going to be in the 8%? I'm going to be in the 80%. But it requires 100% focus will be put in the above. Focus will be put in the above 8%. Because only 8% accomplish. I'm going to be 80 and 8. How about that? Be 80 and 8. Do you want to accomplish your goals? Do you want to be successful? Do you want to leave a legacy? Then I believe that God, Goals, and Grit is something you should take a look at. And if you'd like to, it's on my website at NicoleNelson.com, NicoleNelson.com. It's also linked on my Instagram bio. If you happen to catch this soundbite or a clip from this on my Instagram. Yes, God, Goals, and Grit is still available online for you to purchase and set some goals before the end of the year so that you're not waiting and that you're not in that 25% of people who don't keep their resolutions and or goals after the first 30 days of the year. You want to be adamant about your legacy, because I am. I am so glad that I reviewed my own advice and content and found fruit in it. And I hope that you would do the same by purchasing and signing up for God, Goals, and Grit today, so that you are not in that 25% who fail after the first 30 days, or the other 92% who don't accomplish their goals. I want you to be 100% sure about who you are becoming once you achieve what you set out to leave a legacy about. Have a great one. See you next time.